Previously, Job's friends circled tighter. Bildad insisted the wicked perish and the righteous flourish. Zophar declared that God had even forgotten some of Job's sin. Job responded with bitter sarcasm and desperate honesty, accusing God of destroying both the blameless and the wicked. Yet even in his darkest moment, he declared, "Though he slay me, yet will I hope in him." The debate has exhausted itself. Now, at last, the silence breaks. A young man named Elihu has been listening. He is angry. Angry at Job for justifying himself rather than God. Angry at the three friends for condemning Job without an answer. He has waited because he is young and they are old. But now he cannot hold back. "I am young in years, and you are old. That is why I was fearful, not daring to tell you what I know. I thought age should speak. Advanced years should teach wisdom. But it is the Spirit in a person, the breath of the Almighty, that gives them understanding." Elihu speaks for several chapters. He insists that God is just. He insists that suffering can be discipline, a warning, a way to turn humans back from the pit. God does speak, in one way, then in another, though no one perceives it. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falls on people as they slumber in their beds, he may speak in their ears and terrify them with warnings, to turn them from wrongdoing and keep them from pride, to preserve them from the pit, their lives from perishing by the sword. Elihu is right about some things. God is beyond human accusation. Suffering is not always meaningless. But Elihu makes the same mistake as the others. He assumes he knows why Job suffers. He assumes there is a hidden lesson, a secret purpose he can explain. There is not. Job does not respond to Elihu. And then the weather changes. The wind picks up, dust swirls, clouds roll across the sky like waves of dark water. The air crackles with energy. Then the Lord answered Job out of the whirlwind. This is the moment the entire book has been building toward. Job wanted an answer. He wanted God to show up, to explain, to justify himself. God shows up. But he does not explain. At least not in the way Job expected. Many readers feel cheated here. Job asked why he was suffering, and God seems to change the subject. But look closer. God is not evading the question, he is reframing it. Job asked, "Why is this happening to me?" God responds, "Can you trust a God whose ways exceed your understanding?" This is not evasion. It is the only honest answer. To explain Job's suffering would require explaining the wager in heaven, the test of disinterested righteousness, the cosmic stakes Job never knew existed. But even if God had explained all that, it would only raise new questions. Why this test? Why this man? Why this much pain? The real question beneath Job's questions was never about information. It was about trust. Can Job trust a God who does not owe him explanations? Who is this that obscures my plans with words without knowledge? The question is not an accusation. It is a challenge, a call to attention. Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Job has been asking the questions. Now it is his turn to listen. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundation? Tell me if you understand. Who marked off its dimensions? Surely you know. Who stretched a measuring line across it? On what were its footings set? Or who laid its cornerstone? While the morning stars sang together and all the angels shouted for joy. The questions cascade like thunder. Who shut up the sea behind doors when it burst forth from the womb? When I made the clouds its garment and wrapped it in thick darkness? When I fixed limits for it and set its doors and bars in place? When I said, "This far you may come and no farther"? Here is where your proud waves halt. God is not answering Job's question. He is changing the frame. He is showing Job a glimpse of the cosmos as God sees it, vast, intricate, wild, and beautiful beyond measure. Have you ever given orders to the morning or shown the dawn its place, that it might take the earth by the edges and shake the wicked out of it? The earth takes shape like clay under a seal. Its features stand out like those of a garment. Have you journeyed to the springs of the sea, or walked in the recesses of the deep? Have the gates of death been shown to you? Have you seen the gates of the deepest darkness? Have you comprehended the vast expanses of the earth? Tell me if you know all this. Job is silent. What is the way to the abode of light, and where does darkness reside? Can you take them to their places? Do you know the paths to their dwellings? Surely you know, for you were already born. You have lived so many years. There is irony in the words, but there is also wonder. God is not mocking Job. He is inviting him into the mystery. Have you entered the storehouses of the snow, or seen the storehouses of the hail, which I reserve for times of trouble, for days of war and battle? What is the way to the place where the lightning is dispersed, or the place where the east winds are scattered over the earth? Who cuts a channel for the torrents of rain, and a path for the thunderstorm, to water a land where no one lives, an uninhabited desert, to satisfy a desolate wasteland and make it sprout with grass? The rain does not fall only where humans live. The lightning does not strike only where it is useful. The world is not arranged for human convenience. It is arranged for its own glory. Does the rain have a father? Who fathers the drops of dew? From whose womb comes the ice? Who gives birth to the frost from the heavens, when the waters become hard as stone, when the surface of the deep is frozen? God is not defending himself. He is revealing himself. And the revelation is not an explanation. It is an experience. Can you bind the chains of the Pleiades? Can you loosen Orion's belt? Can you bring forth the constellations in their seasons, or lead out the bear with its cubs? Do you know the laws of the heavens? Can you set up God's dominion over the earth? The stars obey laws Job cannot fathom. The cosmos operates on a scale he cannot imagine. Can you raise your voice to the clouds and cover yourself with a flood of water? Do you send the lightning bolts on their way? Do they report to you, "Here we are"? The questions are not meant to humiliate. They are meant to reorient. Job has been asking, "Why is this happening to me?" God is asking, "Do you know what is happening everywhere else?" Who provides food for the raven when its young cry out to God and wander about for lack of food? Do you know when the mountain goats give birth? Do you watch when the doe bears her fawn? Do you count the months till they bear? Do you know the time they give birth? God cares for creatures Job has never seen. God watches births in the high mountains, far from any human witness. The universe does not revolve around human suffering. It revolves around something larger. Who let the wild donkey go free? Who untied its ropes? I gave it the wasteland as its home, the salt flats as its habitat. It laughs at the commotion in the town. It does not hear a driver's shout. Does the hawk take flight by your wisdom and spread its wings toward the south? Does the eagle soar at your command and build its nest on high? Job cannot command the hawk. He cannot summon the eagle. He cannot explain the wild donkey's freedom or the mountain goat's labor. And yet God sees all of it. God sustains all of it. The Lord said to Job, "Will the one who contends with the Almighty correct him? Let him who accuses God answer him." Job opens his mouth. "I am unworthy. How can I reply to you? I put my hand over my mouth. I spoke once, but I have no answer. Twice, but I will say no more. But God is not finished. Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. Would you discredit my justice? Would you condemn me to justify yourself? Do you have an arm like God's, and can your voice thunder like His? Then adorn yourself with glory and splendor, and clothe yourself in honor and majesty. Unleash the fury of your wrath. Look at all who are proud and bring them low. Look at all who are proud and humble them. Crush the wicked where they stand. Bury them all in the dust together. Shroud their faces in the grave. Then I myself will admit to you that your own right hand can save you. The challenge is not cruel,